Stick around to the end of this video and we'll take this cracked LCD apart and show you what's inside. Do you have a Dell Latitude 7490 with a broken screen or a dead screen? Well, I'm going to show you how to replace it step by step, including the tools you need, the part you'll need to order, and the one mistake that's going to cost you a motherboard. I'm Steve from Internet City Computers in Detroit. I've been repairing computers since 1995. These repairs, I do a few a week. So come on and I'll show you how to do it. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is just power this puppy down. All right, shut down. Hopefully there's no updates. Beautiful. Now we're going to take the bottom of the case off so we can disconnect the battery. That's pretty crucial because you don't want to blow out that motherboard by shorting something out. Now on these laptops, the Latitudes, a lot of them, these screws have little keeper rings on them so they don't come out all the way, which I love because I don't have to keep track of my screws. But anyways, you're going to take off all the screws on the bottom of the case. And then I take this and I flex it, and that usually pops open a corner where I can pull it off. Set it aside, and here's your battery. So we're just going to unplug that. Now we're safe. Okay, now I'm just going to set this back on so I don't touch any of the components on the inside while I have this flipped over. I'm going to set this up. First thing you got to do is take off this bezel. If you break it, and they're fragile, you'll be buying the customer a new one, or if it's yours, you'll be doing with a broken one. You should take a razor blade. I put some tape on here so I don't slice my finger. Stick it underneath. The screen is already broken, so you're not really worried about the screen. On a new screen, you just need to be careful, or on a screen that's not broken, if you're going to be replacing the lid. So here we get under that bezel. Usually they're put on with some two-way tape, plus they snap in. So we're just going to try to get a little edge here that we can get our fingers under. Fingernails, fingers, and you got to be careful. So keep it in mind, they snap on. So you got to wiggle them back and forth this way and that way to get the snaps to come off. And you're going to be fighting that two-way tape too. See right here, it started to crack, but I'm going to stop and just go at it the other way. So I usually stick my finger under here and slide it along, pop it off. I did cut my finger once on a burr inside there, so be careful. When you get around the thinner parts, just be super careful not to break the bezel. And that one broke. Okay. Not much you can do sometimes, and they are fragile. They get brittle as they get old. So we're just going to start up here at the top. We can probably put that back together, and you'll never even notice that. Okay, so there's the bezel. Cracked, but in one piece. So on these screens here, this one has a couple screws at the bottom. Let me lose my screwdriver. Here's one at the bottom. So we're going to pull that out. Set it aside. Come on. Okay, we'll have to, there it is. Sometimes they have screws, sometimes they don't have screws. This one had two on the bottom, and that looks like that's all there was. There's no tape behind here. Usually there's two-way tape here, or that new rubberized tape. This is the main reason why you want to disconnect that battery, because when you unplug this screen, there's usually some sort of electrical charge in there left over, and you could blow out that motherboard. So here we're going to look, peel up the tape. These things are usually pretty simple. A little piece of tape on this one. This one's been worked on before because that's why it didn't have any tape on the side of the screen. I can tell. So anyways, we are going to pull this tape off that somebody put on there. And now there's a little bar right here that you flip up. See that little bar? Let me see if I can zoom in on that. Okay, there's a little bar, little retention bar that just holds that ribbon cable in that socket. Once you get that off, just unplug the cable and you're good. Your screen comes loose, there it is. Now when you order the screen, you can either go off on a Dell, you can go off a Dell part number. I usually go off the screen number, and that matches up pretty good. So here you got N14, it's a 14-inch, HCE-G52, and then revision C1. Can you see all that? There you go. That is the screen you want to order. Okay, so we're going to order this screen. I do not believe I have one in stock, but I will look. And then we're going to reassemble this guy and get it down the road. Hey guys, so here's just a quickie. I just got this laptop in. Here we go with another screen. These tabs are at the bottom and very hard to get to. When you pull on them, you can't pull up because they will break, guaranteed, especially if they've been on here for a while and they're fragile. So one thing you can do, you can modify the way you do this, is you can get it out enough, take a screwdriver, wrap your screwdriver around it, and once you get it going, hold the screwdriver down by the, oops, lost the camera there. So you can take your screwdriver and just twist it, keep it down there, and just twist it. And that'll pull that tape out. It may take you a little longer, but better safe than sorry. You want the screen to come out clean, otherwise you're going to bend that lid. I already did the other side. What a pain, kind of, sort of. I mean, it's not the end of the world. You can get the job done. Sometimes you just got to be creative in how you do things. Not everything's the same. They don't teach you this in school. It's the kind of stuff you got to figure out on your own. I think I'm about there. Bam. Is that it? Did I get it all? Yep. Okay, so there's your screen. Anyways, if you run across one like that, there you go. There's an idea for you. Okay, I got the screen for one of these laptops. I think it's the one we are working on. Let's unbox it and see what we get. I like it when they package it nice like this. Cracks me up. Some of these companies package these things like they're live and they're going to jump out of the box. But okay, it looks really good. Let's get to reassembly. Okay, so first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to test this and make sure that it works. That's the bad one, that's the good one. So let's plug it in. Oh, got to get that little bar on the top. Plug this little puppy in. Make sure it's in all the way. Snap that bar down. Okay, just let the screen sit there. Now we're going to have to start it up. And there we go. Okay, so we're going to let it boot, and then we're going to shut it down, and we're going to assemble the screen completely. Okay, just a little tip here. I usually use the 3M tape. It's pretty good. This is the thin, narrow stuff, 1/4 inch, I believe. A little more pricey than the aftermarket tape. So one thing I do is I go to Lowe's and I pick up this Frost King 2-sided tape made for windows. The plastic you put over windows. It's a lot cheaper. You can get a few rolls, and I'll tell you what, this stuff is super sticky and it works just fine. Once you get this screen buttoned up, it's really not going to go anywhere. So you don't have to worry about that. Okay, so we're going to leave it plugged in. We're going to put some two-sided tape. That is why they did not do it that way. Okay, so we're going to put some two-sided tape on the top right there. And on the bottom right there. I don't think, maybe this screen didn't have any adhesive on it. Anyways, okay, so let's peel the protective coating off. Oh, come on. So this one had a couple of screws on the bottom. So we'll put those back in. If I can fucking find them. Alright, so we're going to, on this one, you got to line up the screw holes on the bottom, and that'll give you your height to the top. And just make sure that everything is square, flat, and in there. Push on the bottom and the top, get that thing to seal. We're going to put our screws in now. And then we're going to put our bezel on. I like to tuck the bottom in and then snap it at the top first. And I just slide my fingers down until it all clicks. Like that. Then I put my hand behind there, snap the bottom on, make sure everything's in there nice and tight. Be careful not to push too hard on the LCD. Now we're going to start it up again, one last time, and we're going to see what we get. Okay, we got a boot, beautiful, and that is it. That was packaged pretty well, and that's a pretty nice box. So I think I'm just going to hang out of that box in case I ever have to package up an LCD and send it off somewhere. Okay, we're logging in. Good deal. And we're going to leave our icon on the desktop so they can leave us a review if they wish. Now we're going to clean it up if it needs to be cleaned up. We're going to refasten that battery. Tighten up the screws in the case bottom and we're good to go. Hey, so okay, I just removed this LCD from this Dell laptop and I noticed it was starting to come apart right there in the corner. So I might as well take it apart and show you guys how these things work. So on the top layer, you have your protective screen, okay? Under the top layer, you have your diode, which emits the light. This is basically your backlight. And then under that, you have a diffuser that turns the blue light into white light. It converts most of it. And then it's like a reflective mirror, kind of like maybe in a lighthouse where they got one little flame that emits one huge light. It's like a mirror bouncing around. Okay, and then you have your phosphor layer and then your substrate that holds everything together. So pretty interesting. I mean, if you've never seen one before. So here you go, here's your layers. Some people ask me, well, I don't feel a crack. Can I just replace a part of it? And yeah, you know, you can buy these pieces if you feel like you can change them and then have it work when you're finished. But 999 times out of 1,000, it's not gonna fix it. So here's your diffuser, your phosphate, your backlight, kind of cool. And then This is your diode, and then your protective screen. So the screen is actually what cracks. And then people think, oh my gosh, I see liquid in there. Yeah, there's a little bit of adhesive type stuff that holds these pressed pieces together, and that's what you're seeing. Anyways, that LCD's toast. We got a new one ordered because we do not have one in stock. So, okay, so there you go, the anatomy of an LED. All right, guys, so there you have it. We just changed the LCD on that Dell laptop. If you got any questions, put them in the comments below. I'll get back with you. But if you like that video, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more Fix It Right. Until then, Steve from Internet City Computers in Detroit signing off. Adios. I hope you like those bonus videos too, because those are kind of cool. Anyways, see you next time.